Today we're going to address an equal complementary opposite to your kettlebell swing. Your kettlebell swing is the hinging motion, driving up into your vertical plank, pulling back with the lats, driving out to the midsection. With this, we're going to be doing a swinging L-sit to lat pull. This is the opposite direction of our swing, which is bottom to middle. This will be top to middle. Make sure you have the prerequisite shoulder mobility to do this. It is not a beginner movement, not something you should jump into. And though I will cover some regressions, make sure that you have established the shoulder mobility, lat engagement to be able to do this, as well as the core control. Because though this is a cool looking movement, it again is not a novelty to be trifled with. And like with anything on the bar, just like a kettlebell, you can hurt yourself if your technique is not right. So keep that in mind as you go through with it. But know if you take the steps properly and don't rush, you'll get the benefit. Now, to make sure you have the shoulder mobility, I will show those regressions that'll help build it, but also having an extracurricular specialized mobility routine is key. So make sure that you address those. I recommend the Mobility Ring program from Scott Sonnen is excellent for addressing wrist, grip, forearm, elbow, and shoulder girdle, those multi-joint tissues, as a specific mobility practice that will address all of these interconnected spiral lines that will make this more beneficial, which will then in turn make your kettlebell lifting in general, even better. So I recommend that. I also recommend wrist wraps for your wrist. I use strength wraps, which you'll see in the next part of the video. They're great, really soft, and beneficial to any type of work that you may be doing where you require just a little extra support, especially when you're translating movement. And then a little bit of chalk goes a long way. What you'll see I'm going to be using is Viking chalk, good friends of mine down in San Diego, and some of the chalk that is just the best. I know that sounds odd, but dense chalk for kettlebells or for swinging is needed as you're moving around and it stays and it sticks. So again, prerequisite shoulder mobility to get into our swinging L-sits on the bar to complement our kettlebell swings and overall lat and back shoulder health. Let's get to it. All right, now wrapped up, chalked up. Let's start with the regressions. An L-sit swing is a swinging L-sit, which you've seen on the ground or many other variations before. I will start with the progression, which is hanging still with a wide grip. Wide grip to stretch out the shoulder girdle and to get more lat activation. That being said, doing close grip and wide grip in your practice is beneficial, so oscillate between the two. Now, watch the simple basic variation. Probably something you've done, but keep in mind that we are trying to do the equal complementary opposite to our swing. So focus on the hinge and your upright posture, just like you would in your swing. Now, that is the regression, a wide grip, hanging L-sit raise. Hinging, but keeping scapular retraction and lat engagement the whole time. If you can, on the bar, full grip, and curl around the bar as much as possible. It feels awkward at first, but it's beneficial once you get into the swing. Let's get into the full version. So as you see, that L-sit swing isn't technically an actual swing of momentum. What you're doing is you're trying to pull the bar down as you L-sit, engaging the core and engaging the lats. So essentially you're trying to collapse in a V. What that will do will create momentum. In the same way as you're actually not trying to swing backwards in your kettlebell swing, you're trying to drive up into a vertical plank. You will notice in the beginning that there is an extension, or what looks like an extension. It's not an actual flexion of the back. You are trying to squeeze your glutes and reach the chest forward, but still engaging. So you're not allowing to break your line of tension and your security at the lumbar. You are going to simply push the bar away, opening up the chest, still engaging, and squeeze the glutes, driving forward. What you want to do with your feet is point to reach, so you get that. So even here, I can still engage my core and my glutes. So you should pretend that there is a point that you reach for that's past what you actually can. So watch real quick as I come over. All right. So what you'll see is you should start with that opening movement, but still keep your shoulder pack and your lat engagement, and keep the feet together pointing forward. It's very important. In this, you will see that the legs stay together and they stay straight. They don't break and bend and then allow the hips just to dump forward. That's going to dump all your momentum forward. It's not a standard kip. Kipping that has that wave motion, this is a different thing. This is the beginning of a traditional gymnastic kip with the legs straight and they pull the bar all the way up to the waist and they get on top. That's true. But what we're looking for here is we're taking that parallel technique and translating it into, again, our lat pull this way with the security on the shoulders and the core engagement and the hinging back. So I think pull and hinge back at the same time. That being said, once you do get some momentum, you can ride it. You want to let it ride and pull back, holding the core. Don't let go. If you let go, that's when you get your power dump. So make sure that you gauge the core, let it ride back, holding the core tight, even as you come back through, toes pointed forward, legs straight, straight elbow lock with shoulder pack. Don't want this or here. And when you ride back, don't think about bending here to help you get more, because then it's into the arm and it's not your lat. It'll feel like you are because you may get a little higher, but it's not here, it'll be in here. So remember, lat pull, elbow lock, shoulder pack, hinge, core, toes forward and together.